Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, appreciate you being back with us. And this is all about energy healing. I know you probably have heard the term Reiki. Maybe you know a little bit about it. Maybe you're not 100% sure what it is, but it can certainly help you in many different ways. And we're going to get to that today. And Jamelle, Zablow, I always say your name wrong. How do you say that correctly?
It's hard. It's Swado-Romanian. It's Zablow.
Zablow Moloney.
Yeah.
So Jamelle Zablow Moloney is here with us. And she's all about barerootsenergy.com. You are a master Reiki practitioner. So we're going to the top here in terms of Reiki. And why don't we just boil it right down to the bare, I mean, this is Bare Roots Energy, the bare essence of Reiki. What exactly is Reiki for anybody that doesn't know?
So Reiki is an energy healing modality. It works with the energy around you and inside of you, and the practice balances out your energy fields to provide the body the ability to self-heal. We all have this ability. It is innate, it's our birthright, and we don't use it. We don't tap into it, especially here in the United States. We rely on a lot of different modalities like traditional medicine, but we're not relying on ourselves. And it is such a unique and easy thing to tap into. It provides relief just at your fingertips. So that is what Reiki is. Reiki is a self-healing modality.
And it's not something that just came up in the last couple of years. This is something that's been around for a long time.
Absolutely. Reiki in the professional sense has been around since about early 1900s, but before that, before it was given a name and taken into the medical practice in Japan, it was considered to be just a healing touch. The Egyptians used it, the Romans used it. Every culture has used it in their own right. And then in 1914, it entered into a traditional practice. There was a guy, Mataji Kawakami. He created Reiki Ryoho, and he taught about 14 guys about Reiki Ryoho, and they were practicing, but they were never able to get it off the ground and share it beyond themselves. So it kind of fell away. And after that enters Makai Usui. Now, Usui was kind of, a guy who was always looking for his path, looking for what he really wanted to do. He jumped around in careers for a bit. His family, they were traditionally samurai. And so at a young age, he was trained to be a samurai. And he never really took it up. That tradition kind of fell away in the early 1900s. And so around 1922, he's searching for his path, and he goes to the top of this mountain, and he says, give me what I need. Tell me what I need to know so that I can help people and so that I can live my purpose. So he goes to this mountain, and he fasts, and he meditates for so long, and he gets this message from his source that says, go out into the world and teach people Reiki, treat people with Reiki, do this as a medical practice. And he gets up and he's like, okay, I can do this. And he hurts himself on the way down from the mountain. He gives himself Reiki. He stubbed his toe, something silly like that. He gives himself Reiki. And the first miracle, he healed himself. His toe was fine. He got back up and he walked back home. And so after that, he just started to experience miracle after miracle. Things that wouldn't have occurred had the Reiki not been a part of that moment. And after that, he opened up his practice and started treating people, started teaching people, and he turned it into a professional practice and was able to get it off the ground. And so once that happened, people started coming in and they started to understand how it works, and they started to get healed. So it's pretty his story, being able to realize their full inner spiritual potential.
Wow. Thank you for the timeline on that. And I learned something you just said. He healed himself. I didn't know it was possible to heal yourself with Reiki.
Oh yeah, I spend I had COVID in January, and so I'm spending every day. I'm spending some time on myself when I wake up and when I go to bed, clearing that out. And I'm also doing other detoxes right now. I'm doing a water detox that was suggested to me by my mentor, but that Reiki gives me absolute instant relief. And COVID is
Oh.
no joke. It
Yeah.
is no joke. And it causes some problems that sometimes stick around. But had I not been trained in Reiki, if I didn't have that tool, then I would be suffering a heck of a lot more than I am.
I'm blown away. I did not know that you could practice it on oneself. That's just
Absolutely.
amazing. Wow.
Yeah, so there's 3 levels to it, and when you get attuned to level 1, which is one of the courses that I teach, you are ready to self-heal, and it's one of the most valuable investments you can make for your entire life.
Why wouldn't you want to do that? We all have issues, right?
Right, right.
Another trip to CVS or Walgreens. What can I pick up now?
Exactly. Pick up the Reiki course and heal yourself. It
Yeah.
heals emotional ailments, physical ailments. It provides relief. There's tons of research out there about relief with cancer patients who, um, get a lot of relief from Reiki when it's incorporated into their into their treatments along with the radiation. So there's definitely evidence out there. It works. It's real. It works on a spiritual level. It's hard to see, but it is definitely not hard to feel. And once you get in there and experience it, you're sold.
Yeah. And for anybody that thinks this is all freaky, mystical stuff, stop that. And
Right.
here's the proof. There are many hospitals around the country that are working on implementing Reiki in the surgery suite for the
Absolutely.
patient prior to surgery. But wait, there's more. They also are working on doing it for the doctors, the surgeons, just to make sure they're on point, calm them down, make sure they're ready, whatever the situation may be. The biggest challenge in getting that done, insurance, because now you have somebody else in the surgery area, and getting past that is not easy. So that's why it hasn't happened in large form. But it's
Right.
something that's been talked about for quite some time now. So if they're thinking about doing that, here they are doing surgery, proven medical techniques. They're also talking about doing Reiki before the surgery. What does that say? It's right there.
Absolutely. And if you are a surgeon and you're trained, if you've been attuned to Reiki 1 or even Reiki 2, you can give yourself Reiki at home the morning before you go into surgery. And one thing that is keeping it from being insured so easily is the fact that there isn't a lot of scientific research out there that's been invested in. It's kind of like the marijuana conundrum. Like, oh, we don't know how scary it is or how scary it's not because we haven't invested in the research yet. And so my hope and my goal is to get this word out there. Let's invest in the research, get those scientists on board. Let's get those instruments on board and let's teach the world about this wonderful modality.
I don't do politics. I'm not into conspiracy theories or anything like that. However, same thing with CBD. Why hasn't it gotten FDA approval?
Such a good
Well,
question. I think it has to be research. I
I
don't
think
get a
the
lot into it either.
yeah, the other answer, and I don't know if this is the answer, but it stands to reason. The pharmaceutical companies, because now that, I mean, there's bazillions of dollars in that, and now
Mhm.
people are using CBD on a larger scale, and then if it was FDA approved, even a larger scale, that could
Absolutely.
put them out of business. And maybe that's the same situation with Reiki in terms of medical.
I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think that modalities that are provided directly from the earth and directly from within ourselves, it's really hard to pin down when it comes to monetary value
Mm.
because everybody has a different opinion. And so the way that you see the color blue, for instance, is going to be a slight shade different than the way I see it. And so when we talk about Reiki and politics, it's hard to nail down. It's hard to get an entire, worldwide community on board where people are going to look at it like they look at the pharmaceutical companies. People aren't going to invest in it because it looks, it looks voodoo.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
everyone experiences it differently. And so I think that's a huge barrier. I'm hoping that we can get over that and learn that it's not all about money. It's about healing, it's about wellness, it's about getting through the next 24 hours the best that you can be.
Yeah. Yeah. I I want you to tell me and tell all of us, if you were to do Reiki on yourself, how does that work?
So I put the symbols in my hands. I call in my guides and I set my intention. I say it under my breath and I sit in a relaxed position. Sometimes I lay down and I just put my hands on my body. And I have a bad shoulder. And so when I'm suffering from like a mental ailment, like I'm really stressed out, I have to get up here and my shoulder gets tired. And so then I have to keep adjusting. But there's a lot of different techniques, and it really is just laying on of the hands and setting your intention and getting those Reiki symbols in your hand to activate it. When you're attuned to Reiki, you're attuned to these symbols that are a part of your spiritual DNA. Everybody has the capacity to awaken this part of them from within, and that's what the attunement does. The attunement awakens that part of your DNA, and it kind of says, hello, don't forget about this part of yourself. It's available, here it is, use it. And that's what's great about the attunement. You go through this process with your Reiki teacher and it feels great and it wakes you up, and all of the sudden the rest of your life is different.
Mm. And you're transferring energy, let's say, from your hands to your head. Let's say if it's, a mental issue or your shoulder. Is that how it's working?
That's how it's working. It's coming straight in from the crown. It's flowing through my arms. It's going through my hand, and it is directly going to where my hands are. Reiki is a smart energy. It is our smart spiritual technology. And so if I'm treating my head and that gets treated, my energy's balanced, and I'm still sending that energy to my head, the energy's just going to keep moving down, balancing out my third eye chakra, my throat chakra. It's just going to keep moving down and balancing out any imbalances that are there. And, if I treat myself long enough, I'm going to get up completely rejuvenated, ready for the day. I'm not going to be tired anymore. Probably not going to have to meditate until the next day. It's fantastic. It's so easy.
Wow. So if you were to do a session on yourself, how long would it take?
I usually do like 5 to 10 minutes because I have a really long to-do list every day. Ideally, you should probably go 20 to 30 minutes. I treat myself in the morning and I treat myself at night, so I definitely get more than 30 minutes in each day.
Oh, so twice a day, really?
Yeah, I do. I do it twice a day just because of the way my schedule is. So, yeah.
Wow. So the other thing we really need to talk about, by the way, this is Jamelle. She's with BareRootsEnergy.com, Master Reiki practitioner, meditation coach, does a lot of energy healing. One thing we should talk about is that you can do it virtually. So you can perform Reiki. Let's say I needed a session. You could do it over a Zoom video.
Absolutely. I do a lot of Reiki over Zoom and even over the phone. And it's a great way to treat somebody who's not in front of you, who can't get in. If you have an individual, let's say they're in their late 70s. They've got a little bit of gout. They can't get up easily because their joints are hurting. Then a virtual appointment is a perfect way. Get them on the phone and activate those Reiki symbols. There's a specific Reiki symbol for that distance treatment. You activate it, you set intentions with your client, and that energy can span over distance and even over time. And so that makes Reiki readily available to anyone. There is literally no excuse why you cannot get Reiki. And the cool thing about it is that even though you might not be in person, you might not be on the Reiki table, you might not be directly in front of your Reiki practitioner, the energy goes and it works the exact same way. So it doesn't matter if you're here or if you're there, the energy is going to do what it needs to do according to your intention and according to your personal energetic imbalances.
Tell me about the intention. Do you, as somebody receiving it, have to want to receive it to have that intention? How does that work?
Absolutely. So, permission needs to be given, and it can be a verbal permission, a mental permission. Um, you set an intention, and once you set an intention for your healing process during any treatment, you are buying in, and it is so similar. I mean, this same phenomena happens when you're in a regular doctor's office and your doctor says, "This is the flu, you need this kind of medicine." If you go into your doctor and you're like, "It's not the flu, it's COVID, and this medicine isn't going to work," I guarantee you, you're going to walk out of that 10-day antibiotic treatment still ill. And so the intention is huge. When you buy in, that tells your spiritual self, "I'm ready for healing." If you don't buy in, you're not ready for healing. You're not ready to let go of whatever imbalances you are suffering from. And a lot of people struggle with that on an emotional and mental level.
Jamelle, have you ever had any times where somebody did not feel the benefits? Were they just not open to it? What happened?
Yeah, my mom, absolutely. So
Really?
my yeah, oh yeah. My mom is a retired RN. She was in the medical practice for over 30 years. And she's, really into vaccinations. She always has her flu shot, and I was resistant to vaccinations for a while. I'm not anymore. I've overcome all of the false scenarios of vaccinations. And so, now my family and I are vaccinated, but my mom has had a really hard time believing in Reiki. And it's not until she had Reiki treatments and I'm like, "Mom, you got to get on the table and just feel it and feel this transformation." It wasn't until then that she really started to benefit from it, because I would, at first give her the distance treatments and she's like, "Okay, whatever," and she wasn't paying for it. So she wasn't monetarily investing in it, but she had a hard time catching on. And I had to get her on the table in my house so that she couldn't run away from it anymore. And I really got into a deep conversation with her about setting an intention. What do you want from this? And she started to buy in, and then she started to feel it. She started to feel how hot my hands got. She
Mm.
started to feel the energy flow through her body. And so she's definitely starting to catch on. She's had a little bit of struggle moving from that tangible traditional medicine world to the old school energy healing that has been around since the planet started turning.
Yeah, and I can see that. She seems to be very analytical, very medically driven, and this goes against the grain. Like the
It
complete
does.
opposite.
Absolutely goes against the grain. Yeah.
Wow. How about some of the other services, Jamelle, that you offer with Bare Roots Energy? What else do you do?
Yeah, so I teach a course called Sacred Rhythms. It's a monthly meeting for men and women. And Sacred Rhythms is all about cleansing and coming back into alignment with the sacred timings of the earth. So that's just a monthly meeting. And we talk about the history of different types of healing practices. We get into a lot of Native American traditions. We work with the books that Jamie Sams has written. She's phenomenal author. And so Sacred Rhythms, it's cheap, it's easy, it's monthly, doesn't take a lot of time. It's 1 hour. I definitely recommend that. I also do a meditation course that is online. It's self-paced. It's got an ebook with it, an online class, and that comes with live consultations with me. Other than that, I do a lot of meditation services and several different types of Reiki services. I've got a detox, I've got a chakra cleanse, and I've got the meditation daily quickie, where I send you 15 minutes of Reiki before you go into that stressful meeting on Monday, just to
Hmm.
help you calm your nerves.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, I do
Why
too.
don't we why don't we talk about why don't we talk about meditation? Because it's so important. So many of us know we should be doing it, but we don't do it. Guilty as charged right over here. Um, I'm hoping today I'm to get to get home early and try to meditate. I use the word try because just sometimes I can't get in the zone. Yesterday I was just chilling a little bit. It was a busy, busy day, but I had a couple of minutes. I thought I was getting in a meditative state. Just I never know. Like 3 tips. Can you help us out?
Yeah, so the meditation manual, which is the course that I've written, is perfect for that. It's perfect for the people who have the busy lifestyle, who have the wandering mind, and who find it really hard to settle down and just meditate. And so there are tons of different cognitive steps, cognitive baby steps that you can take to start building your meditation practice. Meditation, when you're so busy, begins with an affirmation. So my first go-to step is find a goal that you want, create an affirmation, and stick it into every single down moment. I apologize, my dog's barking.
Oh, no
Stick
problem.
it into your down moments. So get your affirmation and say it while you're doing the dishes. Say it while you're at the stoplight. Say it while you are washing your hands. Think it while you're brushing your teeth. Stick it into all of those little tiny minute down moments that you've got, and you'll find that your energy starts to shift. And once you've gotten through that phase, which is the first module in my class, you start to build this confidence in your ability to control your thought processes. Meditation is nothing but a cognitive, it's a cognitive practice. It's a mental practice. And once you get so far down the line, then you can start to really build yourself in the way that Buddha did, where you can sit down for an hour or more and practice every day. If that's your goal, that's not everybody's goal. I'm a busy mom. I can't imagine sitting down while I was teaching full time. I can't imagine being able to find the time to sit down for an hour, especially when the kids are running around and they want like after school snack after school snack after it's just like one thing after another. It's hard to fit it in, but there are definitely ways to fit the small pieces in to start the change.
So let's go back to the affirmations that you and the intentions. Give me an example. Like you said, do it during your day. You're doing the dishes, you're driving, you're thinking the same thing. What would it be?
So affirmations and intentions are all about wording. You want to stay away from negative wording, and you want to stay away from the things that you don't want. So money's a huge popular one. If I want money, I do not want my affirmation to be please help me get out of debt, or I see myself completely out of debt, because then you're just continuing to think about debt. Instead, you want your affirmation to be I see myself in the light of financial abundance through multiple money streams that come to me easily and without effort. That's kind of a silly one because it's got a double conundrum in there. But you want to focus on what you want. You want to focus on what you're trying to bring in.
Gotcha. Just to move the positive. Let's say if you want to meet somebody special. All right. So I guess the affirmation would be, I am going to meet somebody who is loving, authentic, genuine, loyal,
Yes.
and meet them soon.
Absolutely. And you could say, I have somebody in my life who is loving, joyful, authentic, and honorable. I enjoy spending time with my loved one who is authentic, joyful, loving, and honorable. You know, there's one practice in the meditation manual it's an affirmation journaling activity where I tell you to get in there and write your story as if it's already happened. And I do that every single day. I write in my affirmation journal about the things that I want, the things that I feel like I need, and I write it like it's already happened. And the more detail you get into, the better. Imagine it, visualize it, and see it as it's already happened. And get those words on the paper, and it'll start making it true. And what happens with that process is that it starts to point you in the direction to make the right judgments, the right decisions, and the right actions, taking the right action to make it happen. So not only are you calling on this unseen force of the universe like magic, you are programming your mind and your life to make these things happen. A lot of people look at the law of attraction, they look at Reiki, they look at meditation, like it's some kind of magical, mystical thing that's just going to make things happen on their own. that's not the way the world works. My youngest daughter yesterday was asking me about luck. Like, what about bad luck? Is luck real? Luck isn't real, in my opinion. You have decisions, and when something good or something bad happens to you, there has been a process of decisions that you have made and that other people have made, and that's what causes events to occur. So you have to be the key player in your wholeness and in your wellness.
I like the way you put that in terms of journaling it or thinking it as if it's happened, because many times I believe that you may have had that opportunity to make that extra money, that it might have presented itself to you, but you really weren't truly ready for it because this wasn't ready for it. You didn't groom yourself. The same thing with meeting somebody. You may have met somebody and it just didn't pan out. Could have shook hands with somebody and just there was no connection because you weren't ready for it. You weren't in the mindset of it. And that's where you need to be.
Absolutely. You've got to get yourself in the mindset, get yourself thinking about what shifts you need to make and what blockages you need to process and kick out so that you are ready for that next miracle. Mm-hmm.
I love the way that you make everything so clear. You really do.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially on the Reiki side. If anybody has any questions, I think we've answered a lot of them, but you're always available too. Tell everybody how they can reach out to you.
Absolutely. So you can visit my website, www.bearrootsenergy.com. My phone number's on there. You can text me. You can call me. My email's on there, jam@bearrootsenergy.com. You can also sign up for the newsletter. I've got a coupon coming out here in about 30 minutes that provides you with a free treatment if you sign up for the newsletter. So go ahead and join, and I'll see you soon.
Did I hear that right? I'm gonna have you repeat that. A free treatment if you sign up.
Yeah, get on the newsletter so you can get those monthly newsletters and you get a free treatment. That's right.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Set your intention for that, because that seems like a really good deal.
Absolutely.
Jamelle, great talking with you. BearRootsEnergy.com. Go there, sign up, learn some more. And the energy is here. It's all good energy. Use it to your advantage. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Thanks. All right. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.